This is my Well, I'm not really into those subtle movements. I need something bigger. Right? Thank you. That was wonderful. Good morning.
Good morning.
So. Good morning.
Good morning.
There we go. Good. And hi to the people who are watching online too. You know, I love those two songs as an introduction because You know, I think the Spirit of God speaks to us in a lot of different ways. And one of the ways that the Spirit of God talks to us is so easy to forget that we are so often surrounded by people who take care of us. We are so often surrounded by people who just love us and will go out of the way to do anything for us. And we forget. And it's family sometimes it's friendship. One example of that I have is just this last week when it was so hot, we have the islands out in the parking lot. And I went out, and Amber was hand watering your island, Dennis. And it was really nice. I said, "Oh, that's so nice of you to do that and make sure that gets all watered." And she said, "Well, I do yours too." And I said, "Really?" She said, "Yeah, I've been watering it every day for the last 2 months." She said, very nicely, she said, "How do you think you have all those beautiful marigolds?" And I said, "I don't know. I just kind of thought they came up." Yeah, that's right. And it made me realize, people are taking care of us all the time, and sometimes really in some unseen ways. And I can't speak for you, but I can speak for me, where I say, sometimes I just have to open my eyes, look around and see, wow, there's 1,000 different ways I'm getting taken care of. So I asked Geraldine if she'd come up and light our candle. I told her it would be an obstacle course to get back there. So as she's lighting this candle, again, as always, it's this wonderful reminder that this flame is burning, and it just represents the flame of God, the spark of God. And as we're singing the songs, as I'm talking, as different things are going on, let's glance up there from time to time and say, "Oh yeah, that's why we're here. That's the only reason we're here, is to get reminded of the flame of God, the Spirit of God is just burning brightly within us." So thank you, Gerald. And one of the things that we like to do here is to really honor the act of prayer. And so this is our prayer vessel. So after the service, if you'd like to put a prayer request in here, and it could be a prayer request for yourself, or it could be for somebody else, or it could be for a situation in the world, but put it in there. What happens is we pray over it for a week here, then we send it back to Unity Village, and they pray over it for a month. So there's this prayer vessel here, and then there's a couple more just outside the door. The second way that we try and honor the role of prayer within the Unity movement is with our prayer chaplain. So could I have our prayer chaplain stand? Good. Oh, okay, so we have these two. One will be in the nursery, and one will be in the meditation room. Yeah. And it's pretty nice to be able to pray with somebody, because whenever two or more are gathered in the name of spiritual consciousness, amazing things happen. There's no limit to what can happen. Would you join me in prayer? So let's just take a moment, and even before we start to pray, let's just breathe. And let's just choose to be here, right here, for the next hour or so. The Spirit of God, it touched my heart. And you show up in so many different ways in my life. You show up in the love of family and friends. God, you show up in the smile of a stranger. You show up in so many different ways that it's easy for me to forget the truth of who and what you are. So, Spirit of God, we just ask you to nudge us, to remind us of all the different ways that you can show up in our lives. And especially remind us never to put limitations on what God is and how God can show up. Because we are blessed. And so it is, God. So it is. Amen.
Would you like to stand and join us in singing, I Am Blessed?
Good morning. I'm Dennis Burkhart, your celebration assistant. Welcome to the Unity Center of Spiritual Growth, where all people who wish to worship here are welcome. We strive to live, love, and uplift lives. We are an inclusive and affirming center. We bless people of all races, sexual orientations, colors, political beliefs, or anything else that you or they may have been judged on in the past. We simply welcome everyone who wants to pursue their spiritual path. Let me introduce our musicians today. Julie Croteau, our choir director, the Unity Center of Spiritual Growth singers. Our pianist, Leanne Earlyn Moore, and of course, the guys in the back, Brian, Jim, and Todd. Thank you for all you do. And thanks to everyone else who makes this Sunday service happen. As you heard from Dennis, a lot of people behind the scenes and people don't realize exactly what's going on. But thank you for all your help and assistance. If we have anybody here for the first time today, we want to thank you for being here. We're glad you came to join us, and we hope you have a great time. And if you're brave enough to raise your hand, we have an usher with a welcome packet. Do we have any first-timers? Welcome. Welcome to the folks who may be here for the first time on live stream. You can let us know you're here by clicking the Connect with Us tab on the website. You can also submit your contact information, a prayer request, or a request for information by clicking the Connect with Us link. It's available on the Synopsis tab on the website streaming window. Hopefully everybody saw the announcement streaming by. If not, I have a couple to read. First, the Board of Trustees has put together a list of special projects that need doing to help maintain our facilities and grounds. As you can see, the playground is a work in progress right now. You can find our list on our website, newsfeed. If you can tackle any of these projects or provide the financing, To help complete one or more of them, please talk to one of the board members, Dennis or Geraldine. Thank you. The Unity Book Sale, and I have a flyer to show. The Unity Book Sale is saying goodbye to our existing book inventory to make room for new books. As an incentive, the current books are on display in the hallway and are now 2 for $1. And at the end of August, they will be gone and no longer exist unless they're in Dennis's garage. And finally, don't forget to collect water samples during your summer outings. You'll be invited to join them with others for our fall gathering of the water ceremony. To be determined date. And if my calendar is correct, today is the first Sunday of August, and we have birthdays to celebrate. So if you have a birthday in August, please stand so we can... Dance the day you were born. The angels did the bump to Gabriel's horn. God danced the day you were born. So thankful for the gift of you. God danced the day you were born. The angels did the bump to Gabriel's horn. God danced the day you were born. So grateful for the gift of you. All right, it's that time of the service where we're going to do our meet and greet. I will ring the gong or bang the gong when it's time to return to your seats. Greet somebody new and greet at somebody that you haven't seen for a while. Looks like one of those mazes where all the mice are running back to the cubicles. As usual, we have somebody from the congregation read our meditation blessing. Today it's Jenny Taft.
Do you have any idea just exactly how good you are? You are filled with courage, blessed with love, and ready to take steps closer and closer to your own divinity. And it's good that you're ready to take those next steps back to God because you absolutely deserve it. You want to get back home again to your wholeness and perfection. And here's the situation. You are so close. So, hang in there, keep on keeping on. And once a week, I want you to look in the mirror, tilt your head to one side and give yourself a little wink, and then whisper, just about there. And so it is. Namaste.
So let's take a few minutes now in meditation. And if you're new to meditation, it's nothing more than closing your eyes and just turning inward. So let's just breathe. And as we breathe in, we breathe in that breath of God. And it ignites that fire within us. And in the embers of that fire, we find a certain joy, a gentle joy that fills us. We find a gentle, all-encompassing kind of peace that begins within us and fills up every part of our body. And there's a peace that emerges from us. And as we breathe in, we feel that deep, unjudging love of God. Somehow, beyond all common sense, we are loved with the unconditional love of God. And that emotion of love and that vibration of love, it just fills us up. So let's just be with that for a minute. Let's just feel it in silence and let it take us over, this vibration of God, this love and peace and joy of God. Let it rock every place within us. Let it touch every place within us. In the silence. So, Spirit of God, just thank you for this brief moment of communion with you. To be one with the Spirit of God and to have the Spirit of God be one with us. And remind us, God, of who we are and what we are. And so it is, God. So it is. Namaste. I was trying to be creative when I came up with that title. When they know what you don't want them to know. But I think it is interesting, isn't it? I do think we spend a great deal of our lives, especially when we're younger, I think, trying to guess what the other people know about us, guessing what other people think about us. And it moves us and it makes us a little bit nervous and defensive. I thought a nice example might be the story of Samson and Delilah. Now, most of us know 2 or 3 sentences of that story, right? Samson was the guy with superhuman strength who got his hair cut off. Well, what was a little bit more of the story? Well, Samson was a Nazarite. And a Nazarite was, it wasn't exactly a sect or a tribe in the Old Testament. A Nazarite was somebody, just like you and me, who just took a vow to move into a deep relationship with God. And they didn't do it for the rest of their lives. Usually, the vows that a Nazarite took was for a shorter period of time. So Samson was a Nazarite, and Nazarites, when they made their vow, they promised three things. They promised that they wouldn't eat or drink anything to do with grapes. So that meant they couldn't have wine. They promised that they wouldn't have any contact with the dead. For most of us, that would have been a pretty easy one. And then they had a third thing. They promised, if they were a Nazarite, that for the length of their vow, they would not cut their hair. Okay? And so not all people who became a Nazarite, not all of them got something in return. But Samson did. Samson got superhuman strength. And so he becomes a great warrior with the superhuman strength. And the Philistines, who were the mortal enemy of the people in Israel, the Philistines, they wanted to know what the source of his great strength was. So the elders of the Philistines, they hired Delilah. And so Delilah decided to create a relationship with Samson. And whenever they got together, she would say, "What's the source of your great strength?" And he'd say, No, Delilah, I can't tell you that. And so one time she got him drunk. And he told her, "Well, the source of my strength is that my hair has never been cut." She immediately told the Philistine elders. And this part is a great bar bet. Because if you say, "Who cut Samson's hair?" everybody will say Delilah. And it's kind of like, no, actually what the Bible says is she calls for a manservant. And a manservant comes in and cuts his hair while he's sleeping. I know I'm not supposed to know anything about bar bets. Well, so Delilah knew something that Samson really didn't want her to know, which was the source of his great strength. But if you move away from the Old Testament and instead look at a Jewish sacred text called the Talmud says Samson got it all mixed up. That the uncut hair was never the source of his strength. That his relationship with God was the source of his strength. Don't we all do that? Don't we all get symbols and reality mixed up? You know, there's something we think we really want, and then there's some symbols associated with that, and so often we get fixated on the symbol rather than the issue itself, rather than the thing itself. I mean, I think that happens all the time with professional athletes. I mean, professional athletes, they get mixed up with the symbol and the reality. What's the reality? Most of them love playing football. I'll use that as an example. They love playing football. You know, and so they get $10 million, $15 million, $20 million a year. And they go, "That's pretty cool." And then they find out, well, somebody else who plays the same position I did, they're getting $25 million. And so I have to get $30 million. And what they've done is they've gotten the symbol mixed up with the passion. The passion is that they love football. But now they want to focus in on the symbol because the symbol, oh no, it's the symbol that counts. And I think for all of us, certainly me included, I think we need to spend a great deal of time saying, am I fixated on the symbols right now of the things that I think give me passion or great love? Or am I fixated on the symbol, or am I fixated on the real thing? One example, Vincent van Gogh. So Vincent van Gogh, Patty and I just went to an art exhibit of his. He had said that he painted 2,000 paintings in his life. Only ever sold one while he was alive. How about after the 50th painting and not selling anything, the 100th painting, the 200th painting? Can't you just imagine Van Gogh's dad going to him and saying, you know, I'm glad that you like painting, but it's probably time to get a real job. Because it's so easy to get the symbol mixed up with the passion. And so for Van Gogh, he didn't do that. I mean, he just kept painting, right? 2,000 paintings. Now, it doesn't do the humanness of Van Gogh any good, but he's now the highest selling painter in the world. And so some of his paintings sell for $80 million, $62 million. But while he was alive, he didn't get the symbol mixed up with the passion. Now, there's another one, not quite as famous as Vincent van Gogh, but it's called Whitaker. And she's sitting right back there by the door, Geraldine Whitaker. And for Geraldine, she taught at the Cairo American College in Cairo, Egypt. Yeah, isn't that cool? And what she did was she taught kids from kindergarten through the 5th grade. And she would teach them either paintings, drawings, or she would teach them pottery. And here's what's interesting. Geraldine was really able to connect with that passion with the kids. And so what she would do is she'd have her class, it was an hour long, but then during lunchtime, she would open the doors. And it's lunchtime, recess, kids are outside playing. But the kids, if they wanted to, could come in and they could work on their paintings or work on their pottery. And guess what? Geraldine tells me almost all of them did. Because there were no symbols, no grays. Oh, I'm sorry, you colored outside the lines. Oh, that's too bad. I'm going to have to give that one a C-. There was none of that stuff. Instead, she was just connecting with their passion. And when she connected with their passion, they just loved it. It worked out really well. I think we're all hungry to discover what our passion is, what our truth is, what our oneness is. I think we're all hungry to discover what impels us. Now, we don't use that word very often, impel. Now, we can think about the word compel. If we compel somebody, we're kind of an external source, and we're compelling somebody to do something. We're forcing somebody to do something. But if somebody is impelled, that means that force is coming from within. Impelled means to put forth that passion yourself, without some external source. I think we're all looking for what impels us. We're all looking for what connects us to our passion, to our spirit, to that thing where we say, oh, if I do that, you don't really have to pay me anymore because what you might call work, I just do it because I love it. Yeah, that's what it means to be impelled. That's what it means to connect with the passion, I think. I think that nothing is more scary and yet at the same time more freeing than the truth. I think it's can be pretty scary because it bears us. It leaves us more vulnerable. When we pursue our passion, there's nothing to protect us or help us out or save us. It's kind of like, here I am. This is what I want to do. This is what turns me on. This is what gives me great vision. But when we connect with the truth of ourselves in that way, it just gives us great wisdom, I think. Let's take the woman in the Bible. And again, you all know this story. The woman in the Bible who's caught in adultery. And so a crowd pulls her out, and they're supposed to stone her to death. But they also want to kind of catch Jesus. And they want to see if they can get him mixed up. And so the crowd says to Jesus, what should we do? You know, the law says we're supposed to stone this woman to death. But we know you're into that forgiveness thing. You know? And it was really interesting to see, okay, what would the answer be in a situation like that? Because if you break the law, then that's no good. But if you forgive, that's no good. So what happens is he bends down, and he stands up, and he says, whoever has never sinned, let that person cast the first stone. And you all know the ending of that. The crowd sort of quietly dissipates because nobody wants to be able to say that, well, I've never sinned. It's interesting because the Hebrew word for sin is chatahor or chata. And what happened is those words were translated first into Greek and then into English as the word sin, but those words meant, they were archery terms, and they meant to miss the target. It didn't mean that you were a bad person or an evil person if you sinned. What it meant was you missed the target. So at the end of that story of the woman caught in adultery, Jesus says, well, where are all the people who were condemning you? Is there no one left? And she says, no one, Lord. And so he said, well, I don't condemn you either. So he says, go and sin no more. Now, what he's saying is, go, and you've been missing the target. And so what he's saying, get oriented on the target. Get oriented on what counts in your life. So he's not condemning her because she's committed adultery. It's not that. He's saying instead, when he says sin no more, he says, you know, connect with your passion. Connect with what it is that you want to do. Go live your life. Discover your purpose. Live your purpose. And I know that many of you have heard that phrase before, that sin is from the Hebrew words for dealing with archery and missing the target. But isn't that an interesting take on that story when he says, I'm not going to judge you. I want you to go find your passion. I want you to go find the center of your life. I think that's what we all need to do. Every one of us. Go find what drives us, what gives us passion, what is the target for us. And of course, it's going to be different for each person in this room. In Hinduism, they call this kind of truth satya. And satya means the truth, but it means a particular kind of truth. It means the truth about you that is unchanging, the truth about you that is eternal. So satya means that which is beyond space, and that which is beyond time, and that which is beyond the individual human person. In other words, satya says, connect with your soul. Connect with what you've always done, with what you've always wanted to do, not with what you've always done. What a tough challenge for us, isn't it? Because, of course, we get caught up in the symbolism of things. And, yeah, I want to pursue my truth, but I want to pay the rent, too. Of course, I want to pursue what gives me passion, but I want to have some friends, too. I don't want to drive people off because I'm so committed to my truth. I think what that means is in the relationships in which we find ourselves in, marriages, friendships, family relationships. I think what that means is we need to get more in the habit of revealing who and what we are. Now, notice I said in marriages, in family, friendships. I don't think that means that if somebody says, oh, hi, Jane, how are you? That Jane should say, oh, let me tell you. Yeah, and then to go on for an hour and a half, 2 hours, revealing the great problems in her soul. We have a phrase for that kind of person who reveals that much. They are called friendless. In other words, there's a time and a place. I think what we want to do in the relationships that are key, that are central to our lives, I think that's where we have to dig deep and tell more and more and more of our truth. So it doesn't have to be every relationship, but the ones that count, the ones that move us and drive us, that's where we draw on the Spirit of God. For the Sufis, they also believe in pursuing the truth, and they say an interesting thing. For the Sufis, it's the more that we pursue our truth, the more we change the relationship between ourselves and the truth. Now, what's that mean? The more we pursue our truth, we start changing the relationship between ourselves and the truth. And what that says is we start discovering that everything and everybody is a teacher. We start discovering that everything becomes an expression of the truth. Now, some expressions are excellent, and some expressions are faulty. It doesn't mean that everything we see is the perfect expression of the truth, but it's always the attempt to express the truth. And so again, some expressions are excellent, some are faulty, but again, the Sufis would say, if you know yourself completely, you know the Spirit of God. If you know yourself completely, you start learning how to decipher good expressions of the Spirit of God and faulty expressions of the Spirit of God. And so what that says is work on ourselves, work on not hiding anything, work on revealing ourselves to the people that we are closest to. And that's when we start discovering more and more and more about all the different expressions of God that there might be. And one last faith is Sikhism. So Sikhism says the truth is high, but higher still is living the truth. So in other words, it's nice that you know lots about the truth. Are you living it? Are you doing it? It's incidentally, I think it's the same principle as Unity's fifth principle, which is live the truth, live the Spirit of God. So what are we? Just to bring this to a close, I think we are a sliver of God. We're not the wholeness of God, but we are an expression of the Spirit of God. We are beings who are working our way back to God, working our way back to wholeness. And if we do that, it just doesn't make any sense to hide anything. Because the more we hide, the more others hide. the more we reveal ourselves, and again, to the people that we're closest to, the more they reveal themselves. And I think it makes sense to keep honoring and loving and just embracing the truth and speaking the truth, particularly in our relationships, because here's the deal. When we do that, what we discover is that that one other person that we're talking to, they just might have the one ingredient that we need, the one idea that we need, the one truth that we need that brings us back to our wholeness, brings us back to our divinity. When we speak the truth, then what happens is they reveal themselves and we go, that's what I'm here for. That was the one thing that I'm here this time to learn about. And none of it works until we share at the deepest depths of who and what we are with the ones that we are closest to in this world. And so it is. Namaste.
song as if your whole life depends on it. Depends on it. You've got to sing your song as if your whole life depends on it. Depends on it. You've got to sing your song.
All right, everybody, it's love offering time. Now, if this is your first time here, please know that we don't ask you to give. Instead, please be our guest. If you're watching online, you can contribute by clicking on the Give button on the website streaming window, and your offering is secure. As always, we have someone from the congregation read our prosperity blessing. Today, it's Donna Smith.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning. Here we are. Here we've been all morning having a very good morning. And it's about to be a very good day. But then, suddenly, it's love offering time. And what a privilege. Can you believe it? So if you're watching online or here in person, we invite you to share a little bit of your financial blessings. And as we do that, let's see if we can all remember to tell our stories a little more and listen to others a lot more. This is the life we have, and we live it surrounded by others. They walk in and out of our lives, and we move through theirs. So it just makes sense to walk this pathway with great love and great truth. And here's another boom. That's who we are at the deepest levels, truth and love. So it is. Namaste.
I'm going to ask that you sing with us on this song. It's called All That I Need Comes to Me.
On my face, all that
Would you join me in a prayer for these gifts? So, Spirit of God, we do say thank you. The gifts are important to the church, of course, and we appreciate that. But help remind us. Help us to remember that digging deep and discovering our own truth and speaking it to the people who are closest to us, that's what counts, God. Because all the things that are good and holy and pure, all those things impel us to move closer to our strengths, closer to that shining light of God. And so we say thank you, God. And so it is. Amen. Amen. And let's invite our kids in.
Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Everywhere I go, I'm gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine. My sisters and my brothers, we're gonna let it shine. My sisters and my brothers, we're gonna let it shine. My sisters and my brothers, we're gonna let it shine. Let it shine, let it shine, let it shine.
So, Amber, what did the kids learn about today?
Today we talked about yin and yang. We talked about a balance of opposites, our masculine energy, our feminine energy, our doing and our being, and a balance between those two. We did some yoga today that had to do with balancing poses. We did a square breathing technique, which is balancing our inhales and our exhales with our holds. And then we played some games with balance and popsicle sticks. And
this sounds very different than Sunday school that I went to.
and Zaya is going to read our affirmation today, so if you could repeat after him, we appreciate that.
I flow with the yin and yang of life.
I flow with the yin and yang of life.
I see myself as whole and balanced.
I see myself as whole and balanced.
Every day I nurture my mind, body, and spirit.
Every day I nurture my mind, body, and spirit.
My breath fills me with peace, balance, and healing energy.
My breath fills me with peace and healing energy.
Thank you, Zaya.
So thanks, kids. If you want to go back to your parents or grandparents, that'd be great. And let me invite you to stand, join hands if you'd like, and let's sing our closing song.
Peace that was meant to be.
join me in our prayer for protection together. The light of God surrounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. Thanks for being here today, and don't forget, this is Potluck Sunday, so there's lots of food down there.